Welcome to Masters Weeks, folks. This is your betting preview. This is your Masters preview. I'm your boy JC Sports. Handicap Sports Podcast is the platform name. We're finally here, folks. We finally hit April. We're down in Augusta, Georgia this weekend. It's a special time. It's a special time in the golf landscape. And what I want to do here, I want to go top to bottom down the entire board. In regards to betting, I'll kind of start this off with a preview of the course, a preview of some trends that I think are very, very interesting in going about your outright card. I'm going to go through some changes that have happened at Augusta National Golf Club, maybe just some background information, the tournament itself. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the statistics. I'm going to go through what is important here. How can a golfer be successful at the Masters? Who will be successful at the Masters? Stuff like that. The amount of information on Augusta is limitless. I dug through it all. My research was very, very extensive. Throughout all of last week, getting into this week. I couldn't even think about the Valero last week. By the way, hats off to Corey Connors winning his second Valero. But that's not what we need to be worrying about right now. We got Augusta. It's Augusta week. Masters. First major of the year. First major of the year. Let's get right down to business here. Masters week, the course, Augusta National Golf Club. It's a par 72, about 7,510 yards. Water comes into play on 5 holes. Our fairways will be ryegrass. Greens will be bent grass. Very, very fast greens here at Augusta, around 14 on the stint meter. In terms of context, the stint meter, the lower you get, the slower the greens are. The higher you get, the faster the greens are. 14, is pretty much on the highest end of the totem pole on the PGA Tour. Augusta's greens are lightning fast. Some background, like I said, first major of the year. This is an invitational tournament, so we're going to have around 90 to 100 players. You have to be formally invited to the Masters by the Masters committee, by the Majors committee. 50s and ties will advance to the weekend, so a cut will be at 50 plus ties and going forward on the weekend there. I think it's important to also know, just regarding Augusta as a whole, Augusta National Golf Club got much longer as a course. It kind of went under some renovation, not really renovation last year, but kind of critiques and changes to the course. So let me run through them for you a little bit. In last year, 2022, the 11th hole was increased to 520 yards as a par 4. A par 4, 520 yards. That just goes to show how much longer this golf course got. Also last year, the par 5 15th was increased 20 yards, which is pretty big. Last year also, there were some other holes that had some widening in the fairways, but Augusta is just normally, the fairways at Augusta are very wide, which kind of caters to your longer drivers. Also, given that the rough isn't too penal, but we'll get into all of that once we go through all the stats. I kind of want to go through the changes right here. And a big change this year for 2023, the par 5 13th was a 35-yard increase to 545 yards. So this is the famous par 5, hole 13, where Rays Creek lies right in front of the green. So it's kind of tricky if guys want to reach the green in 2, or they want to lay up and try to get in, a wedge position to go up and down for birdie and stuff like that. So these critiques that these, players who have played Augusta in the past, who are not too, they don't really understand it too well. They make these changes last year, this year. It'd be interesting how some of these golfers go about these changes. So those are the changes. I think they're pretty big to hone in on. Just given how much longer this golf course got. So that's that. And now, what I love so much about the Masters and Augusta, the course, the whole 9 yards, is how the narratives, the trends, X amount of golfers out of X amount of golfers went on to win, gaining 10 strokes tee to green, 5 events prior to the Masters, stuff like that. I've really honed in on this a lot. So I'm going to run through them all. I have some smaller sample ones, and I go into some larger sample ones. Let's rock and roll with the smaller samples here. 9 out of the 10 last winners were under the age of 40. 9 out of the last 10 winners were under the age of 40. We get experience here. We get some of the older cats, but the course sometimes caters to these younger cats. I'm not saying 39, 38, 37 is young, but that's just a little nugget to hone in on. You don't want to go like Fred Couples is going to be in it, Mike Weir, guys like that. Probably not going to win. All of the last 10 winners were in the top 30 of the official world golf ranking, 8 in the top 20. I have that laid out for us, this week, and I'll run through them. 8 out of the last 10 winners have played in at least 3 Masters. Um, Experience matters here. The only first time champ was back in '79, so we don't have to worry about that. All the last 10 winners had finished in the top 30 in at least one of their last 2 starts leading into the Masters. So kind of getting into that, nice form coming in, who's been playing well as of late, who hasn't playing well as of late. Um, 12 out of the 13 winners had at least one previous T8 finish in the 7 events prior to Augusta. So more coming into this, who's been playing well, who's been posting scores, who's been coming in the top 10 day in, day out. Important stuff. Here's the big one. 11 out of the last 11 winners gain at least 18 strokes tee to green in the 4 events prior to Augusta. More about this. More about recent form. But also, experience matters so much at Augusta. Literally like what I said here. 8 out of the last winners have played at least 3 Masters. Experience matters. Now, more of the larger samples. I think this is going to kind of put the smaller stuff into context a little bit. So 43 out of the 43 last winners have played in one previous Masters. So out of the last 43 winners, all of them played in one Masters tournament. 24 out of the 25. This is a crazy one, and one that I've been dialing in on because I like the number. The 24 out of the 25 winners have made the cut at the Masters the year before they won. Now, folks, don't go into looking at players. For example, we take a look at I don't know Tyrell Hatton didn't make the cut. If you like your guys, roll with your guys. Just don't take this with a grain of salt. It is important. These are trends and they are factual and they're true. So just something to keep into consideration. I think that's pretty wild though. 24 of the last 25 winners made the cut at the Masters the year before they won. Something I'm paying close attention to. And then the last one is 21 of the 23 winners ranked in the top 30 official World Golf ranking. So above I said all the last 10 winners were in the top 30 of the official World Golf ranking. Larger, 21 out of 23. So we kind of see how that goes hand in hand together. These stats are here for us, and I think it's important to dial in on them. So those were some of the smaller ones that I compiled, a little bit of the larger ones that I compiled. So that's really important to hone in on. I kind of like those narratives that they have at Augusta year day in, day out. All right. So those are the trends. Let's get into some statistics now. What's important at Augusta? What do you need to do off the tee? What do you need to do around the green? What do you need to do on the putting surface? How are you successful here? How is a golfer successful at a place that is such a big test, a place that is just so hard, and really, a handful of people have won at this place. So let's dive into it. Off the tee play. Like I said, this place is very long. It's gotten to be one of the longer golf courses on the PGA Tour. However, there's very wide fairways here and non-penal rough, which I said. What does that mean? Bombs away. Bombs away. There was actually one year where Zach Johnson in 2007, he's not really known to be a long hitter of the driver of the golf ball. He didn't hit one par five and two. He did not have one eagle opportunity on a par five, in 2 strokes, but he ended up winning. That's pretty much the exception year. We'll let that slide, but for all intents and purposes, you want to dial in on guys who drive the shit out of the golf ball. And like I said, with the renovation, Augustus now is one of the longest tracks on tour. Take advantage of the wide fairways and bombs away. Like I said, also with the Zach Johnson on the par five things, It's going to be huge on the par fives. Augusta, it is so important to score on these par fives here. It's going to be a really interesting nugget once we get down to some scoring statistics. I go over the par five scoring. Um, we'll get into more of that once we get down. But getting an eagle and birdie opportunities on these par fives are going to be huge because the other, what is it, 14 holes is just another different test. These different par fours, par threes, it's another fucking animal. So you want to dial in on these par fives. Um, kind of so all the stats that I compile are on rickrungood.com. I am subscribed to rickrungood.com. I dial in onto his stats. I make custom models. I make my own models on this site, and I could also export them. It's also one of the main features. This is not an ad. I wish it was. It's one of the main new features that he has on the site. I've been using Rick Run Good, for all my statistics, for all my modeling, for all my betting, DFS stuff. Great site. Top six in my model in distance: Bryson, no surprise; Rory, Cammy Champ, Cam Young, Jon Rahm, and Minwoo Lee. I cannot stress enough how important distance and power is this week off the tee. Let's move on to approach play. Like pretty much any course on the PGA Tour, the second shot, the approach shot, is very important, especially at Augusta National. How long it is, I place more emphasis on long iron play. Dial in on guys who hit the 5 iron well, who hit the 4 iron well, who hit iron shots from, I don't know, 170 to 200, 200 plus. Some stats here for you: about 20% of iron shots come from 150 to 175. About 17% come from 175 to 200. About 33% of iron shots are 200 yards plus. Long iron play, massive this week. Top six in my model from 175 to 200: Jon Rahm, Tony Finau, Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele, Keegan Bradley, and Colin Morikawa. You know Colin's one of the most pristine iron players in the PGA Tour. No surprise he's there. Top six in my model, 200 plus: Will Zalatoris, Colin Morikawa, Patrick Cantlay, Mito Pereira, Victor Hovland, and Corey Connors. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff to dial in on here. So that's approach play, like I said. Especially on the par fives, you're going to see a lot of guys who, on their second shot, it's going to be long. And they're going to try to hit the green too. And like I said, we're going to get down to this, but par five scoring is so important here. So being able to hit the long irons well, maybe even get out the 3 woods, the hybrids. It's important. It's very important here. Next down, I want to go to around the green play, and I think this is one of the most important statistics, metrics, whatever you want to call it, for success here at Augusta. If you ever seen a picture of Augusta, you watch, you see that the green complexes are all usually just surrounded by short grass, and chipping on short grass onto lightning fast, undulating greens is one of the hardest things you can do. Finesse, touch, very important around the green. The thing is, it's important to find that nice medium between, you need to be long, you need to be driver heavy, bomb the ball off the tee with a ton of distance. But once you get over to these green complexes and you don't find yourself on the green and you're on the short grass, you need to be able to chip very well onto undulating greens. You need to be able to put your shots in between, within 5, within 7, within 8 feet. Maybe to go up and down for par, maybe to go up and down for birdie. Around the green play is very, very important. In 2021, seven players in the T10 finish at the Masters in 2021. 7 players ranked T10 in strokes gained around the green. In 2022, 8 players within the top 11 were top 12 in strokes gained around the green. Very important. Very important. Top 6 in my model around the green. JT, no surprise. He's an absolute wizard around the green. Same thing with Jordy. Him and Jordy are kind of in the same category around the green. They got that great touch. They got, nice wedge play. Fleetwood, Fitzpatrick, Gooch, and Willett, who has won this event prior. So around the green play, like I said, emphasis on around the green play. Putting. Let me take a sip of water before we get into putting. Not that it means that much, but it's just one sec. Gorgeous filter water there. Great filtered. Putting. Stippmeter. Like I said, 13, 14. Very, very lightning fast greens here. You got my model. I dialed in on fast green guys. The thing is with this, um, we've seen bad putters win here, so I'm not really putting so much emphasis on this on putting. What I did place some emphasis on is bent grass. Augusta National is bent grass greens, and like I said, they're lightning fast. Top six in my model on fast greens: Zach Johnson, who, like I said, won this event. Max Homa, Cam Smith, Louis Ooh, Mac Hughes, Sam Burns. Top six in my model in bent grass: Rom Noren, Patty Reed, Cantlay, Nod Spieth. Cantlay's one of the more premier putters on bent grass. But like I said, the main aspect here is ball striking. Distance off the tee and long iron play will get the job done. Couple in, some made putts. Couple in nice play around the green. That's what it's about, though. The distance thing is huge. The distance thing is huge, and the long iron play is huge. So, like I said, that little section, you got the bombs away, you got the heavy lifting, the driving, the long irons into the nice little, the small, the finesse. Where does that come in? Around the green pipe on the putting surface, making the 5-footers for par, making the long 7-footers for birdie. Maybe even lag putting too. You're probably going to have a lot of eagle opportunities. You're not going to be within. It's very people do it, but it's very hard to get within maybe 7, 8 feet. You're going to have a lot of lag putters for birdie, for eagle. Got to be dialed in there too. So yeah, like I said, ball striking, long iron play, distance off the tee. Very important now. Let's get into scoring. As I alluded to prior, par 5 scoring here is absolutely huge. The other holes are a complete different animal itself. So this is where you're going to want to score. And now to put it into perspective, let's just go back to 2022. Last year, Scotty won this event at 10 under. He was 8 under in par 5 scoring. 2021, Hideki won this event at 10 under. He was 11 under in par 5 scoring. 2019, Tiger won the event at 13 under. He was 8 under in par 5 scoring. 2018, Fat Boy Reed won the event at 15 under. He was 13 under in par 5 scoring. You got to score on the par 5s here. You really do. Like I said, the other holes are just another animal itself. Getting those eagles in would be massive, but birding those holes are huge. Now, best par 5 scorers, I didn't go top 6 because I really wanted to round out, the names. Rory, Cantlay, Sungjae, Cam Smith, Xander Schauffele, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Matty Fitz, Jon Rahm, and Tony Finau. So that's huge. Like I said, par 5 scoring is huge. Finishing off the scoring statistics, the scoring stuff. Attack the par 5, survive in the other 14 holes. Second widest fairways and non-penal rough. Make sure your bombs away. Lightning fast, heavy undulating greens. Stippmeter through the roof. Dial in on guys who are good fast putters. Dial in guys who are good on bent grass, but doesn't mean too much because we've seen shitty putters win this thing before. Decky a couple years back. That's just one name for you. Bomb away off the tee, long iron play, short game around the green is a must. Now I want to get into the players and I want to get into the board. Odds checker, Masters. The thing is with this, like I want to get into the betting stuff now because I want to go over. I want to roll through with you guys. Like I think there's a point where you just need to stop your betting card because no one else is going to be winning. But I had it up here. I don't think anyone else is going to be winning past Justin Rose at 66-1. That's his bet. Those are his best odds, and that's at BetMGM. I don't think anyone's going to win past Jay Rose. I think Justin Rose can win this event. That's why I'm saying nobody can beat Justin Rose. I'm sorry, nobody will win this event past Justin Rose because if we get into these guys, Pat Reed, live guy. I don't see a live guy winning. Fleetwood hasn't won in the U.S. Neiman, live guy, another one. Tiger. I mean, if you throw a bet on Tiger, I mean, it would be special if he could get that win. But just the form he's in, it might be tough. He might be a better DFS play. Tom Kim hasn't played this before. Mito, I don't think he's played this before. Keith Mitchell, Sivu, Bryson, yeah, like. I'm dialing in on players who's played here before and, some of those trends that I've dialed into as well. So let's go down the betting board and let's see who we could find, who could win this thing, who could seriously win the Masters. Let's go down the board. Scotty Scheffler, his best odds are at plus 800. You can find that on Caesars at the moment. I'm not one, I didn't make any futures on here. Give me the week. I'm one who goes week by week on the PGA Tour. Last week was the Valero. Granted, I couldn't even dial in on it because I was so focused on the Masters. But in regards to betting, we dial in now. Give us whatever. Give us whatever. 800 on Caesars for Scotty. I don't think Scotty's going to win. He won last year. I don't think it's going to happen. The only person who's won back-to-back was Tiger Woods. Maybe Jack has done it. Fact check me there. John Rahm. I'm sorry. Next one is Rory. His best odds are at 850. I bet Rory. I think Rory's a great play here. He's one of the guys who fits all of the statistics, those trends that I kind of went through with you guys. He had a great finish here last year. We kind of dial in on Rory stuff. Rory McIlroy, we just see last week that Rory, finished off the match play well. Give or take, some of these stats might be a little funky because of the match play stuff. 8 ball striking, tee to green was around 11. He's T2 in the Arnold Palmer, which was a good performance by him. The numbers across the board for Rory have just been absolutely incredible. And we talk about previous experiences here. If we look at Rory at the Masters, second last year, he's played it a bunch of times. He's a T5, T5, a T7, a fourth. The guy knows the course like the back of his hand. He's a little bit like Tiger, just knowing the course in that sense. He still needs this Masters victory, and I like him this week. I really do. The thing is, I wanted to pick one of Rory, Rahm, or Scheffler, and the thing is, I went Rory McIlroy. I did. I think he's. I like him this week, and I like that number for him as well. Going down the board a little bit more, like I said, Rahm. I didn't bet Rahm this week. I just think he's been struggling too much lately. Just given that narrative as well. He didn't really play well last. He didn't come out of his group. WD. So yeah, Spieth not doing Spieth. JT is a guy who I like this week. I think he's flying a little bit too under the radar. You could find his best number at 22. I bet JT. I bet Justin Thomas. Everyone's saying he's been playing so bad. Since the Arnold Palmer, he goes T21 at the Arnie, T60 at the Players, and T10 at the Valspar. Gaining across the board. T degree numbers, have been looking good. It's the putter that's been hurting him a little bit, but I just think he models out really well. Like, let's just see, he's fourth in my model. He's the best around the green player in the field. His driving distance, he's top 10. Augusta National, he's great here. How did he play last year? What did he do here last year? 8th finish last year, T21 and 21, 4th and 20. Yeah, he dominates this place. And to be honest, when I looked at his last 3, I thought these were going to be red across the board. This guy's pretty much gaining in everything other than he lost 5 with the flat stick of the Players, but take that with a grain of salt. JT took a week off 2 weeks ago and last week, given it was the Valero. People usually take off at the Valero, but he took off for the match play, which is a very grueling event. He was probably working on his game. He was probably with Mike. He was with Bones in the lab working on his game. I like JT this week. I really do. I like him. He's flying under the radar. He really is. So that number that you could get JT at is 22. Next guy up, I bet Patrick Cantlay, 22. Yeah, he was my next one, 22 to 1 on Patrick Cantlay. Again, a guy in a really good form as well. Has played this course before. Not really too much success here. I wouldn't say he's the most successful guy at Augusta. 39th finish last year, made the cut. That was one of the biggest things. He made the cut last year. He was cut in 21, T17 in 2020, T9 in 2019. He's played this course before. He knows the course, the form that he's in. He had a tough loss to Sam Burns. Dell Technologies match play 2 weeks ago. But if we look down here, players T19, Gainer 10 in the ball striking category. Arnold Palmer T4, Gainer 8 in the ball striking category. Genesis Invitational, which is a major comp course to Augusta National. PC finished third there, gaining almost 8 with ball striking. And another big nugget that we had was how did we finish in previous years major tournaments? Open Championship last year, T8. U.S. Open, 14th. Masters, like we said, 39th. We get into 2021 now. U.S. Open, T15. It might be time for PC to get that green jacket going. And I love his form right now. Off the tee's gorgeous. Approach is gorgeous. One of the best bent grass players on the PGA Tour. Par 5 scoring. He's right there. He's third in the field, par 5 scoring. I like PC. I like PC this week. And I bet him. And I bet him at that number at 22 to 1. Moving down the board, Cam Smith. I'm not going live guy. Colin Morikawa. I think the distance might hurt him a little bit this week. I didn't bet him. I know. Let's just test. He might be struggling as of late a little bit. No, not really. He had a good performance with players. Didn't really do much last week at the match play. I just think the putter's just been hurting him too, a little bit. He is one of the best long iron players on, but if we're picking guys in here, we get like a Colin at 25 and a PC. I'm gonna roll PC. Finau. I tweeted this out. Like, do you think Tony Finau could actually win the Masters? When push comes to shove, can Tony Finau win the Masters? Like, I don't know. Maybe. Like, am I more confident on PC? Am I more confident on guys like maybe a Xander? Yeah. Stayed off Finau. Xander. The reason why I almost did bet Xander, but the one reason why I didn't bet Xander was he missed a cut here last year, and that was one of the main things. One of my main trends here was 24 out of 25 winners, last winners, made the cut at the Masters year before they won. He missed the cut last year. Had to take him out. Might be crazy, but numbers don't lie, folks. Xander took him out. DJ, like I said, no, not winning. Live player, not winning. Jason Day, I think he missed the cut here last year. Am I correct? And I don't know. Day hasn't, he's really starting to find his stride now. If we're looking back on how he played in the majors, 55th at the PGA, cut at the Open, T44 at the PGA, cut at the Masters last year. Last year. Did he even play the Masters last year? Did he play the Masters last year? He didn't play the Masters last year, and he was cut in 21. I think they will win this year, but he's not winning this week. Laid off Day. He'll win this year. He's playing great. He's playing great golf. I think he's going to win this year. Cam Young. I just don't think he has too much experience here. He's going to get his win. It might be a major, but it's not going to be the Masters. I laid off Young. Homa, I think another major for him as well. Although, I just don't want to look past Max. That's what I don't want to do. I laid off him, but he might be a good play for people. Brooks, like I said, no, not going to win. Next boy up, Sungjae Im, 37 to 1. Bang that out. 37 to 1 on Sungjae Im. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Why, must you ask? Why do you like Sung J M at 37-1, Mr. JZ Sports? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because Sung J M at this place is an absolute dog. Sung J M is an absolute bulldog at Augusta National. Every year on leaderboards, we see. Do you know on Sunday? You guys know what I'm talking about. On Sunday, when that little leaderboard comes up with like the top 5 players who are in the mix, Sung J M's name is there. It is. It is. And let's get into some numbers on Sung J because I know he plays all the time, and you know he's looking nice. T6 at the players. Last week, take it with a grain of salt, but if we're looking down here, API T21, Honda T42, Waste Management T6, Farmers Insurance. He's been playing great. The dude's an absolute bulldog. Last year at the Masters, came in 8th. 21. I think that was the weird year, right? The November year was 21. No, I'm sorry. 21 miscut, but 2020 T2, that was the November year. Played this 3 times, has some really, really, really good has some really good experience here. Like I said, 8th last year. I think he can win this thing. I really do. The thing with Sung Jae is like T17 at the PGA last year. I'm sorry, in 21. I think it needs to be his time soon. I really do. Models out really well for me. Sungji. Yeah. Great par 5 scorer, 8th in this field. Um, you know, one of the best long iron players from 200 plus. Like I said, the fast green play as well, the Augusta experience. I like Sung Jae at this number. I really do. He fit my trends. Um, Made the cut here last year. Had a great finish last year. Has been playing, as of late. He has that T6 at the players, which is great. Gained 7 ball striking. I like him a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Down to the Farmers, 8, 16, 21. Yeah, he's gained 25 strokes tee to green in his last like 5, 6, 7 starts. I like Sungjae at this number. Yeah, I like Sungjae at this number. He fits the model. Um, Official World Golf ranking. He currently sits. If this thing would fucking load, please load, motherfucker. Official. I guess we got to go to fucking ESPN to get this bullshit. Sung JM official World Golf ranking. He ranks around 18th. Good spot. Top 30, top 20, hole nines. Like him there. Bet that Sung J number, and I think it's pretty nice. I think that's a nice number on Sung J too. 37. Like that a lot. I ran through Sung J there. Perfect. Moving forward, Victor Hovland. I was fighting my brain with Victor. I was just fighting it. I was completely fighting it. The one thing that I don't like with Victor Hovland here, actually, there's 2 things. I think his around the green play is still very iffy, and he can't score on par fives. He cannot score at par fives. We saw this. Where did we see this? The API, maybe, and the players. He was like 2 under par 5 scoring. I think it was at the API where you need to score on the par 5, just given the length at Bay Hill. I don't know what it is. I don't know why he can't score on par 5. What I do think it is actually is I think he has great drives, and I think his long iron play, like for how good it is, sometimes he's not landing these second shots on the green, which is making his around the green play that much harder. And like he's not he struggles around the green. He does. It is showing signs of getting better, but he struggles around the green. Um, Victor wins this week and I miss out. I'll be sick to my stomach, but we'll see what happens. I might throw a little Wednesday night on Hovland, but we'll see where that takes us. Zalatoris at 40, stayed away. The dude had to fix his swing. When you have to fix your swing, I get he's unbelievable in majors. I get he's great at the Masters too, but when you have to fix your swing, that's like 2 years to get accustomed to. Laid off Zal, Burns just won, and Decky's got the whole neck issue. I don't think Corey Connors is winning. Fitzpatrick as well has been struggling. Hatton, don't know. let me get into my next guy, and then this is before Rose, but Shane Lowry. Hear me out on Lowry for a little bit. I like Shane Lowry's best number that you could get him is 66 on Bet Rivers. I don't know who really uses Bet Rivers, but he's a 65 on FanDuel, which I think is a pretty fucking good number on Lowry. Lowry modeled out extremely well. He modeled out very well. Let me get this a little bit bigger for you. Well, for me to look at. Yeah, Shane Lowry, great fifth and par five scoring, driving distance, top 20. You know, he has some nice. He also has pretty fair history here. Let's go into it. Let's go into him. Shane. Shane Lowry. If we're looking down on this, um, T35 at the players, which was fine. He gained 8 in the ball striking category, which I love. T5 at the Honda. He is coming in a little streaky form, but that doesn't really. That's fine with me. I'm fine with that. 31 at the Dell Technologies. The players, T35. API, not that great, but the Honda played well. Genesis T14. He's fine. But if we just look at his Masters stuff, we could see last year, third place finish last year, T21 and 21. 21, he finished T25. He likes this place. He likes Augusta. He loves Augusta, Georgia. We're going down here, the Open Championship. He finished T21. U.S. Open, didn't play. PGA Championship, 23rd. Masters last year, 3rd. And one thing that I do like about Shane Lowry, he's a great sand player. He's great around the green. Like I said, great par 5 scorer. And when you just think of Shane Lowry, like when I just hear of Shane Lowry, I'm like, yeah, Shane Lowry's a dog. Shane Lowry can win a golf tournament. Shane Lowry could win a major. He's won a major before. He won the Open Championship. Shane Lowry's a solid player. And I get the streakiness, but we could see the approach players. We could see it kind of rising a little bit. The putter has to find itself, but I think I could see Shane Lowry winning this week. I do, and at that number, I think it's pretty. And like I said, my cutoff was Rosie at 66, and Lowry's one under him. So I'm liking Lowry there, and that pretty much finalizes my outright card. So my outright card: Rory 8.5 to 1, JT 22 to 1, Cantlay 22 to 1, Sungjae 36 to 1, and Lowry 65 to 1. This was a total outright podcast, Masters preview, betting preview. Didn't want to get into the weeds and the DFS stuff. I'll have some little nuggets and snippets on my Twitter. You can follow me there, JZ Sports, JZ Golf 11. But yeah, I hope you guys gain something out of this. I hope you gain, what kind of player Augusta looks for, where you could score, who has actual opportunities to win this thing. Because if you're getting into the weeds, I don't think anyone in the 100 to 1 range is going to win this thing. So yeah, great week ahead. I cannot wait. The Thursday morning when you wake up, it's a feeling that you really don't. You feel it once every year, and it's Thursday. Prior to that round 1 starting. Gonna roll out a DFS lineup this week. I'm addicted to DFS. Do I win? Nope. But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna get it. We might even get the Millie this week. But yeah, DFS whole nother ballgame. You want to find those value players. You want to find the winner, but you want to find the value players as well. So I'll be diving in. That's more so on my Twitter page. But this was the Masters preview, baby. Big week ahead. Let's win some cash. Let's go. Tomorrow night we'll have a handicap sports podcast. Top East, and Ronnie Overs. We'll kind of go, through Masters picks, who they like, and the whole 9 yards. But preview here for you this week. It's been fun. Right on the dot, 40 minutes. Nice. I hope I got all the information in. But that's it, baby. Masters this week, Thursday through Sunday. Back to Augusta, Georgia we go. First major of the year. Best of luck. Folks, that's JC Sports out. This was another edition. This is the Masters preview. Good luck this week, folks.